All right, folks, I've got a special treat for you today. I'm sitting here with Sally Sargood. She's the voice of the photographer at Animoto, and also Sue Bryce, who is a photographer and an educator. And we're going to be talking about Animoto. And just I wanted to dive in specifically from the standpoint of sort of business, and then how can photographers use Animoto either for product delivery, and if they want to do that, or more specifically where I want to guide the conversation is on the other side of it, the back end and marketing side of things. So Sally and Sue, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's dive right in. So let's do introductions first. Sue, let's start with you. Give us an introduction of who you are, how you got started in photography a little bit, and your genre of photography.
So I am a portrait photographer, and I specialize in glamour, modern glamour, or just contemporary portrait, I say. I've been a photographer for 26 years in August, and I've worked in a professional studio for 26 years. The last 13 years has been my own studio, and the 12 and a half years prior to that, I was an employed photographer. So I've been in the industry from film to digital, and I've survived.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, hands up. And I'll tell you, I owe you a debt of gratitude because I've learned so much from you from your Creative Live courses, and you're just on fire on there. So folks that are watching this, if you haven't seen Sue's Creative Live courses, go over to Creative Live and watch them, and only watch Sue's, because that's it's totally good stuff, and it's you know how to teach people. So let's just say that. So congratulations. Okay. All right. Also, Sally, tell me about your background and how you got started in photography and what led you to Animoto.
Well, I've also been in the industry, not quite 26 years, but 25 years. I started working in a lab, so I've got a pro lab background, and worked my way up to sales and marketing for pro labs for 14 years. From there, I went on to work for Jerry Guionis. I was his personal assistant for 6 years. So I did a lot of work with him, hands-on work as his assistant, shooting weddings, but also organizing his workshops. And then I started my own consulting company called I Need a Sally, where I was helping photographers with their pricing and their sales and marketing and that sort of thing. But then suddenly I had vendors in the industry coming to me as well. And Animoto came and said, we need somebody who knows the photographer, who knows what they want. And I started working part-time with them remotely from Australia, and now I'm working full-time in the New York office.
Oh, that's cool. See, both of you guys have pedigree. So you're obviously the perfect people to have this conversation with. So let's dive right in. So video, who's it? Mark Zuckerberg said, I don't know, a couple of months ago that he expects video to be the primary method of content delivery on Facebook within the next couple of years or so. We're seeing video all over the place, and it's becoming more and more the norm. Whereas a couple of years ago, it was kind of like special. Oh, there's a video here and there. Now it's like I expect a video. If I go to if I'm looking at a new product or something, like some widget or something is announced, I don't want to read anymore. I want to watch a video and sit back and be entertained and have that flow into my head. Are you guys seeing that as well?
Well, there's like a 73% chance that somebody will click the link of your website by watching a video. They're 7 times more likely to watch your video than read the content you've written. And statistically, YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet. So if you're not on there, you're not competing on the second largest search engine in the world. Right. And then third, last year, Pinterest introduced a video the year before. Most people don't know this. They introduced video share, and the video share on Pinterest last year exceeded YouTube.
Wait a minute. How did I not know about this?
Well, it wasn't
video share.
It didn't exceed YouTube in uploads. It exceeded YouTube in shares. So that means more people clicked pin this video than people shared YouTube to Facebook. That is how extraordinary video is right now.
I had no idea. So yeah, so Pinterest, yeah, I often dismiss Pinterest as, oh yeah, one day I'll get to it, or, but it's gigantic. And video just in general is gigantic, right?
Yeah. You've got to remember that storytelling is paramount. Mm-hmm. You can get information free. Any information in the world you want, you can go to Google and get it for free. But you can't you can't get for free the same thing that people are still buying: stories education, and emotion. Those are the three things that we still buy into as we want, and that's what video does. If you can touch any entertainment, any engagement, all the E's I say, engagement, education, entertainment, emotion, all of the E words to me seem to be very video driven, very, just right there, connectable. It's just so easy to feel something when you watch a story as opposed to read a story. And you've got
I read someplace, and Sally, maybe you can chime in on this. I read someplace that when you write an article, let's say it's a blog post. So if you write a blog post versus perform that blog post on video, just because we're humans and we notice minute inflections in tone and voice and facial expressions and gestures and all that stuff, the video is going to be much more engaging than the audio, or than the written word will be. You guys agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. People, I think, can just relate to it more when they see it visually, see it moving, and even once you put a music to it to create that emotion as well. It just adds a different dimension to it altogether. So I think it makes a huge difference.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about Animoto and the product itself. So when I see Animoto, I think, okay, the wedding photographers or event photographers or whatever, they can use this product to create products that they can sell, or on the other side, they can use it on the back end to market. What's the best way from both of you guys? You guys are on two sides of the coin. What's the best way to use the product, do you think?
Well, I think both ways are great ways to use the product. I think at the end of the day, it depends where you are in your business and what you feel comfortable with. For people just starting out in their business, it's a great tool to market with, because you may not even be at the point yet where you've got a product to sell, or you're actually getting people in to sell too. So it's a great way to, like Sue said, YouTube's the second biggest search engine in the world. Put yourself out there, make a video and make yourself searchable so you can start to get clients coming in.
Oh, wait a minute, a slideshow. Just make a slideshow. Like, you don't even have to put moving footage in it. Just show us your photographs to a fabulous song that's got a rhythm and a beat and the best photographs you've got, and just show us what you do. Don't tell us what you do. Show us your beautiful visual images. We're creators, we're photographers, and why would you tell somebody what you do?
I know. That's because the video can be like, here in Silicon Valley, I guess all over the world, there's this whole concept of the elevator pitch, right? Which is, if you're trapped in an elevator for a minute or so and there's somebody in there that you want to explain your business to, you better be able to get to it before they get off the elevator. Same with video, right? If you're showing, these are my skills, hey, I'm Sue Bryce and this is what I can do, you want to be able to show it to them like with impact relatively quickly, and not, hey, look at this, look at what I can do, and kind of flick through.
I live in LA now, and the most asked question these days is not, do you have a business card? It's, what's your Instagram? Now, what does that tell you?
I know, yeah.
That tells me that the first thing you're going to visually see is my images and my video, because you can put 15 seconds of video on Instagram. So now, I went to a function recently, didn't give one card, but I gave my Instagram handle to 8 people, and they will visually see me in a nutshell, very quickly represented by both my images and my video. And so I think to myself, well, what is my Instagram saying? Because if that's the beginning of share-worthy marketing, then the rest is follow the links from there.
Yeah, that is great. So let's talk about the back end process a little bit. Sally, I wanted to ask you. So with looking at Animoto, great site, beautiful. It's dialed in. The software is in the cloud, obviously, so there's no downloads or anything like that. But when I look at it, and I played around with it, and I've made videos and animated slideshows and all these things. But I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, I want to ask Sally, why would, this is devil's advocate speaking, why would someone use Animoto when they've been, they've subscribed to Adobe's Creative Cloud, and they've got Premiere, they've got, After Effects, they've got all these other high-powered tools that they can use to craft this thing however they want. Why would they go into a service like Animoto instead of those?
I think, there's so many reasons I don't really know where to start. But firstly, Animoto is super easy.
Idiot proof.
Yeah.
Good. I need that.
Made it really simple. So like, I mean, compared to something like After Effects that you mentioned there, Animoto is really easy to use. It's simply a case of just adding your images, choosing the music, which can take me to the next reason why. Animoto has over 2,000, Animoto Pro has over 2,000 songs included, and over 1,000 of those are from TWiP music. So if you're using, again, one of those platforms that you just mentioned, you've got to buy your own copyrighted music to use with that. So we have those songs included within Animoto, and that's another great reason to be using it. But we also have like different styles that we've had, which are like templates that you choose from. So some of them are very simple. Some of them are customizable where you can choose the transitions yourself. And some of them are very animated. So if you want those effects within it, you can actually choose one of the animated ones as well. But the pro styles, we have at least 20 of those that are designed by photographers for photographers. So it's exactly what photographers are looking for. And like I said, like Sue said, it's idiot proof. It's so simple to use and really quick as well.
And what's the flow? So that idiot proofedness, what is that? So I log in, I point it at a folder of images and then let it rip?
You pretty much log in, you go to create a video, and the first thing that comes up are the styles. So you choose the kind of style that you're looking for. Again, if it's simple transitions or something sort of fairly animated, and then you add your images. If you've got video clips, you upload them as well, and you can actually choose the section of the video clip that you want to feature. You can actually kind of clip it within Animoto as well. Yeah. The song, you choose your song, and then pretty much you can preview it and see how it looks. If you're happy with the way it looks, you hit publish, and it's published within minutes. We have other features where you can actually also add your logo. So you can add your logo to the beginning or the end or both, and it's actually can be animated as well, so it looks very professional. You can highlight certain images so they stay on the screen longer. You can adjust the pacing. There's so many things. You can either have a lot of control or let the engine do it itself. So it's really easy.
And once all that's done and I'm satisfied with the final result, am I able to download that file and use it for other things, or is it stuck online and that's the only way I can see it?
No, you can definitely download it. And again, with Animoto Pro, you can up-res it to 720p or 1080p resolution, so you can do a HD video with it and then download an MP4 from there. You can actually also upload it directly to Facebook or to YouTube. You can also send your customer a link so that they can click on the link to open the video. And there's also an embed code, so you can embed it into your website as well.
And for those of you that don't understand the Australian accent, HD means high definition.
I love it. So you guys can make fun of each other. Oh man, I love it. Okay, so Sue, how are you using Animoto in your world? Like, you know, what's a use case of how you implement the software?
When I started to evolve into the video component of marketing, I noticed that as soon as the 5D came out, as soon as the 5D Mark II came out where you could shoot video, I realized that that was our future. And I couldn't edit my own work. And so I would look for editors and they either didn't show up or they were $400 a day. And I was shocked by that. So my evolution into video was slower because I actually took an online course and learned how to edit on Final Cut Pro. And it took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to edit a 2-minute video. And I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I hated doing it, but I did it because I had to do it. And I actually thought Animoto was a little bit old-fashioned when I first saw it 2008. To me, it looked a little bit slideshow, like old-fashioned slideshow. And so I dismissed it, not understanding that you could edit footage on it seamlessly to make a behind-the-scenes video. And I can literally make a video in under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's a few tips, like you can't load over 400 meg files. So when you're shooting something, you really can't shoot for longer than 1 minute. But when I'm teaching people how to shoot behind the scenes to advertise themselves, they should only be shooting 4 to 6 seconds anyway. Yeah. So just shorten the clips. And then the tips are really how to shoot them. So we're just teaching people how to do that. Basically for the price of a year's Animoto, you can have unlimited HD output. So you can, it pays for itself on the first edit. You can do one a week if you were, you know, brave enough or bold enough to. Gosh, I know I certainly should do one a week. But the truth is I'm just showing that on a budget, you can be on all of these search engines. And if you're smart and creative enough to tell a story that people actually want to see over and over again, you're going to create viral video for your business. This is just unlimited marketing. I mean, it's ridiculously easy. And I want people to stop being afraid of it and stop making excuses about marketing and just start doing it.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? It's what we're talking about is the marketing standpoint. And you mentioned you teach your students kind of the how to do behind the scenes videos, right? So take me through that part. And that's a self-marketing thing, right? So they're exposing the world to their work and showing people how they would approach a shoot. So take me through that. Why would they use Animoto for that?
Well, we sell ourselves as photographers, but we don't sell the product. I feel like content marketing should be based on what the client is getting instead of what we're selling. Mm-hmm. And I want them to see the studio. I want them to see the process. I want them to see me. I want them to see an ordinary girl. And on video, you can't fake ordinary. You know what I mean? So on Photoshop, you can warp people and make them look 20 years younger and all the rest of it, and everyone will say, oh, she's pretty anyway, whatever. On the video, you see people's micro-expression. You see their apprehensiveness at being photographed. And then as they're being photographed, you see them turn into this goddess and start enjoying the process. You also see them being pampered and laughing and having this photo shoot that you see in magazines. And then you just see this girl turn into this incredible portrait, and she sees herself for the first time, and you can't fake that. That is so beautiful, and everyone will be like, I want what she's having. And you tell these stories around the girl, and you can do voiceovers on Animoto. You can tell a story, you can narrate it yourself, you can interview your clients, you can show the reveal process of them seeing themselves. And to me, that is showing everything I give you as a client in an enticing, incredible way, so that you go watch this video. We need to do this to your girlfriends, and then that's the market, you know?
Yeah. So the voiceover piece that you mentioned, I didn't know you could do that with Animoto. I just, from again, from a layperson standpoint, I thought you just aim it at a folder, and it's probably like you're saying, you pick some music and let it rip and do the rest of it. But so you're saying you can do voiceovers in there?
You can upload your own MP3. So if you create your own voiceover, so if you actually record the message you're trying to convey, you can use that as the MP3 behind your video.
With music too, so you can turn the music down.
I could create, if I sat down and I had my soundtrack, and then I narrated I put an overlay of some audio on there, and I got all that ready, and that's in one MP3 file. I upload that to Animoto, and my images, then the engine will do the rest?
Absolutely. We've even had some people actually record the bride and groom saying their vows on a wedding, and use that audio as the track behind the video. So it's not just music. You can actually record a voiceover. We're actually working on a way to make that voiceover part more seamless, so that we can make it part of the product. But that's still a ways away. But for now, you can actually record your own MP3 and use that as the track. So
it's kind of a hack, really. They realized that you could do it. And then I recorded a voiceover on GarageBand on my Mac. Yeah. And I sent Sally an MP3, and she put it into my video with music. So obviously, significantly, telling a story from my narrative is going to be strong, because I speak with emotion and I love what I do, and I want to talk about it. So I don't want to speak to camera, because it's very hard. Most people can't speak to camera. Yeah. But if you speak into a computer and just tell the truth and tell your story, and then you overlay that with beautiful images, I don't think there's anything no story you can't tell with great connection. Because, I mean, when people hear it, they see it and hear it, and then there's music, and it's no different than watching a movie.
Mm-hmm. And you can
hardwired for.
You can add emotion to it with I mean, obviously with the imagery that you choose to put in there and your VO, but the music, right? So you can evoke certain moods, by your choice of what assets you want to put in this thing. But
Absolutely.
what about the idea of control? And Sally, maybe this is for you. So on the side of being able to say we go down Sue's route and we've created our soundtrack and we've got our audio in there and we're happy with that. We upload that into Animoto, but at 4 seconds in, I want this photo to show, or at 10 seconds in, I want this video clip to be playing, or something like that. Do I have that level of nuanced control?
You have a dashboard, which is kind of like a timeline. So you add everything in the sequence that you want it to, and you can switch it around and do it however. And like I said, you can trim your video clips to help whatever length that you want and place them in. When you're mixing video and photographs, it's much easier to have that control. If it's just a slideshow with photographs only, what happens is the engine actually does its best to make the photos appear in time to the tempo. You can adjust the pacing as you want, but they will be more or less evenly spread out throughout the soundtrack. Although, like I said, you can actually also highlight the ones that you might like to stay up longer, but you don't necessarily get to choose how long you want it to stay up there for. With that said too, we're just sort of finding with the trends at the moment, videos are much shorter now than what they used to be. And the days of having photos stay up on screen longer and things stay, going different sequences have sort of gone. It's more or less getting people's attention quickly, maintaining it for a short period of time before they tune out. So we're finding those sort of customizable tools are less and less needed because people are looking for their photos to change much quicker. And then the video to capture the attention and that sort of thing.
And it's like you said, it's short attention span, right? We're in the short attention span generation where if you throw up a 5-minute video and you're like, oh, 2 minutes into it, really? We're still going, versus if you do a 15-second, 30-second, or 1 minute, then you're more likely to engage. Plus, you have the options of being able to put it on Instagram, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of people doing 15-second videos now for Instagram. And they say even the best time to maintain someone's attention is 30 to 60 seconds. Yeah. We kind of recommend for people to max it out at 90 seconds. 2 minutes is really sort of pushing it to the limit. But yeah, so to get in there really fast and to capture the attention is super important, especially if you're marketing.
I always look at it like this. I hold my phone with me whenever I'm looking at somebody else's video or even my own edits. And if I check my phone at all during the life of the video I'm watching, then I got bored somewhere. If I get to the end of the clip and I want to watch it again, I know I'm 100% in the best place. But if I've stopped and got distracted in any way, if I've looked up, if I've checked my phone or my email, then I got bored. It didn't hold my attention.
Wow. Short attention span theater. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a show on, God, what was that? It was like the Sci-Fi Channel, but the name of the show was Short Attention Span Theater. Now we are in a short attention span generation, which is good. Less is more, right?
We're in a now generation. Like everyone keeps saying to me about everybody wants it digital. We're not in a digital generation. We're in a now generation. If I want to watch something, I want to watch it quickly and I want to watch it now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to download it. I don't want to wait for the print. I just want it now. So whether that's digitally or you've printed it already, just give it to me now and I'll watch it. So we just are very used to it being an instant generation.
Instant and immediate, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Sue, what's next for you? What do you have going on? You said you relocated to Los Angeles. I did not know that, but maybe we do another interview to get into that. But you're in Los Angeles, away from Kiwiville. What's next for you?
Just lots of shooting and lots of education. It's quite funny. Writing content for education for me is definitely my superpower. I just don't run out of things to teach because I've just been in a studio for so long, and also my industry changes so much that every time I learn something new to teach, and I always teach around how I evolved my business. Yeah. But I've been in business through 2 financial crises, and I started out as an 80s glamour photographer, and now I'm a contemporary glamour photographer in 2015. So that makes me a cockroach. I just think
A
that
survivor, right?
I survived because I evolved, and every time I evolve, I teach what that evolution is. Video is just another evolution, and video and marketing on the periphery, marketing with storytelling, and marketing on a budget is still another evolution. And I just have got so much more to teach, and I've got a great group of followers and students that I'm working with. I'm doing another Creative Live in June. I've got more education coming up on my own network, and I'm just loving it. And I love shooting, and I'm getting better as a photographer as well. All the time.
I think that's why I resonate with your teaching style, because I love all the same things that you love: marketing, photography, and all that stuff, and evolution. And you know, and then plus it doesn't hurt that you guys have cool accents to listen to. So so I'm just gonna put that in there. Well, cool. Well, thanks for doing this, Sue. I appreciate it. I know you guys are busy. And Sally, what about you? What's next on your plate and for Animoto? And can you clue us into any secret product launches that are coming up?
Yeah, but watch this space in the next 6 months. But I'm actually in LA at the moment, obviously with Sue, heading back to New York City, and we're just sort of heading down for the summer, and we're actually going to start making more videos as samples with photographers, and sort of to show samples of marketing. I'm going out to Tamara Lackey's next week to do some stuff with her as well. But we're just constantly taking feedback from people and trying to improve the product the best that we can.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, congratulations on an awesome product. It's really cool. Like when we first started talking, I told you I remember, I think, Sue, around the time probably when you first were exposed to Animoto, that's when I was, and I looked at it and I probably had the same kind of reaction, like, oh, okay, you know. And then fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, I dove in there and I was like, whoa, what happened? This is amazing. And like literally it's just an amazing service. So Sally, if the TWiP listeners want to dive in there and kick the tires and play around with it, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, we have a free pro trial that's 14 days, and they can sign up for pro trial, and they can use it as if they're using the pro. When they go to publish and produce the video, it will have a watermark on it. But they'll get to see all the features and how to use it, how easy it is. And then once they produce it, they love the video. If you sign up for pro, the watermark will come away from that video you've already produced. So you don't have to even reproduce that. It'll actually just remove that. And then you'll have a pro account. The pro accounts are either monthly or yearly. So again, you can sort of try it out, or it's a much more economical to get it for the entire year. But yeah, it's a great way to try the product before you buy it. But I think most people who do dive in there see the benefits of it and go for it.
And what's the price for the monthly or the yearly?
The monthly is $29 for a month, and the yearly is $239 for the year. And that's the Animoto Pro, which is what we recommend for photographers, because it's licensed for consumers. The music is licensed. It's got all that music in there and all of those pro styles as well.
So you don't have to worry about stealing music and getting a takedown notice from the RIAA or anything like that.
No.
Very cool. All right. Well, congratulations to both of you. Sounds like you both are firing on all cylinders. Sue, I will keep an eye out for your next Creative Live course. I'll be sitting virtually in the front row. So congratulations on that. And thank you both for doing this. I appreciate it. And, any final parting thoughts from either of you?
Just no excuses. You've got to get out there. You've got to put yourself out there. Sometimes we don't think we look good enough. Sometimes we don't think we sound good enough, but you are good enough. You're good enough to share a service to the world of what you do. And if that is creating beautiful images, don't be afraid of that. Just put it out there. And yes, there'll be some stupid negative criticism from the internet, and it doesn't matter. There'll also be a whole lot of clients just waiting for you, and don't be afraid.
I love it. Put it out there and don't be afraid. Sage words from Sue Bryce. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
You too.